In this series of videos, I would like to discuss the process printing setup. It is recommended that you watch the video on the process printing usage in our list of startup videos. It is also recommended that you have an implementer's help when going through this setup. The first video will be on an overview of the product itself and how to turn it on. We'll also discuss the description list, the process types list and how those achieve the defaults throughout the system, and then the default processes themselves. To begin with, in the first video on using, it went through a sample product called Process Printing Sample. To be able to set up your own process printing product, you'll need to activate the product's process piece and process printing. To do that, you'll go into Setup, Pricing Setup, and then All Pricing. It will bring up this screen under Product Setup. You'll see Process Printing. And at the bottom, you'll see Show Inactive. Make sure that is checked so that you can see the inactive products. Highlight the process printing product, edit that product, and then check the active button and hit Save. Same with the process piece. The process printing product is a combination of two separate products that combine to give you one product with multiple layers or entities that are required. Let's look at this in an estimate. If we're in a new estimate under your list of products, process printing, once those are activated, you should now see the standard process printing product or the process piece. We open up that process printing product. The quantity, height, and width are exactly those. We discussed that in the first video. And then the definition is really just the description of this product. This list can be edited directly from here. Just add, edit, new, insert row, and add whatever you would like. This is to print on work orders and estimates, etc. And it also can be typed in manually on a per-need basis. Next, the new piece. This will actually open up the other part of our product inside of this shell. This will take the defaults of our shell for the information as discussed. The piece itself is another definition, editable, and it's for information only. You can type in any field you'd like, and you can add to this list, so you can just drop down if you use consistent definitions by inserting row and adding that value. Next, we come to the process. The process is really what drives the process printing product. It is a part in itself, and this part can be defined for whatever you'd like it to be. In this case, we have just roll stock process printing as our first example. And you'll notice this pulls up some defaults that we've maintained, as well as what processes we can do to the roll stock. If we're looking at that as the part, you'll now see it pulls up the process roll stock part. And we'll take a look at that part, and you can just right mouse click view part from here, if you'd like. And that part, again under other materials, process printing, process types, is a roll stock. And this may or may not be what you're trying to do as far as roll stock in this category. Let's go ahead and edit this, and you'll notice that the piece type is roll stock. You can choose from multiple different types of pieces that are currently already in the system. Flat stock, roll stock, photopolymer. You can also add your own. That will be discussed in the second video. Such as we did for the sample, we added bottles. If you have things that aren't in here, we will add our own in the next video. Once you've chosen a material, or a piece type, such as roll stock. Then you get your defaults based off of that information. You can also clone this item to make additional items. So I'm going to cancel this one. And let's say we're going to make something out of flat stock. I would clone this item. Choose a flat stock. Now, let's frame stock, sorry. Flat stock material. It'll also allow you to set defaults. Where that roll print, the roll stock, I was defaulting vinyl, print vinyls. Now, since I've chosen flat stock, it's giving me my material list of the different flat stock materials that I have in the system and list structures built. If you've added material types you do not see in this, it means we'll need to build the list structure for those, and we'll do that in the second video as well. So, we're not going to default a part type for this one. Material usage, meaning do we calculate it to the full sheet, area only, half sheet, etc. Just do an area only here. We'll just calculate everything by the footage, and if we have any scrap. Then we get into the processes. You'll notice under each one of these drop-downs, you have a multiple list of all the processes that are available in the system for process printing. From here, you can select what options you have with flat stock. Currently, I can print on the flat stock. I can laminate it, I can apply cut vinyl, I can cut it, I can finish it, and I can screen print it. You may or may not be able to do those. You may be able to do more. In this case, I can also sandblast it, or I could engrave it. So I can add those values as well. Saving that information after I change the part name. For this example. That will now be available in my process printing types as something that I can use in the same way roll stock was. The thing to note here is this piece type is setting defaults in the background of the product. Therefore, it is setting what parts are available and what default parts you're using, as well as scrap percentages and the processes. So it kind of controls it all. This list is not showable in the product, and therefore it requires some list structure to build. Hope that explains the process. Now, if we're back in our product, after that, after we have the process and it's defining, as we showed the default, I can choose the actual part itself, and the usage we had set to default is calculated. The rest of this information, such as hardware, can be set up in the hardware lists that exist. If they need to attach to other lists, other types of hardware, this can be done and will be shown in our further videos in video 2 and 3. This gives an overview of how the process links to the rest of the system, as well as how to set your defaults. Thank you. We'll see you in the second video.